Imagine this, a company selected by the government of India to build country's battery manufacturing future. A company expected to help reduce India's dependence on Chinese battery and cell imports. A company entrusted with participating in a strategic 18,100 crore battery PLI scheme. The same company listed on India Stock Exchange facing allegation of inflating revenues worth an astonishing 15 crores. Could this become India's biggest corporate governance controversy? Could one company's trouble impact India's EV and battery manufacturing ambitions? And could the government cancel a major battery PLI allocation? Today, we decode the Rajesh Exports controversy, the SEBI allegations, and what it means for India's battery future. Welcome to the Chetan Pathak vlogs. We will start with understanding Rajesh Exports and 𝗟𝗵𝗵. Rajesh Export is one of India's largest gold companies. Founded in Bangalore, the company expanded from jewellery manufacturing into global gold refining and trading. Its biggest global acquisition came in 2015 when it purchased Swiss precision metals refiner 𝗟𝗵𝗵 for approximately $400 million. 𝗟𝗵𝗵 is among the world's largest precision metal refiners and processes gold for customers across the globe. This acquisition transformed Rajesh Export into a global gold giant. For years, investors viewed the company as one of India's biggest success stories in the precision metal sector. But now, the same subsidiary is at the center of a major regulatory controversy. What has SEBI alleged? According to SEBI preliminary findings, Rajesh Export allegedly converted and overstated revenue worth approximately 15.15 lakh crores or roughly $159 billion between financial year 2020 and financial year 2025. Think about that number for a moment. The alleged discrepancy is larger than the GDP of several countries. According to SEBI, most of these revenue were attributed to the Swiss subsidiary 𝗟𝗵𝗵. However, investigators reportedly found significant difference between revenues reported in India and figures reflected in 𝗟𝗵𝗵's standalone financial statements. This raised a critical question: were the revenue being reported to investors accurately reflecting the underlying business activities? SEBI's investigation reportedly began after concerns emerging regarding unusual large trade receivables and accounting inconsistencies. A forensic review was followed. The findings shocked market and raised concerns about financial transparency. Another important issue that was pointed out was the Africa gold mine mystery. SEBI's concerns reportedly extended beyond revenue reportings. The regulator also examined disclosures related to investments in Africa's gold mining assets. According to report, Rajesh Exports disclosed investments exceeding 10,000 crores in mining projects. However, investigators reportedly struggled to establish documentary evidence supporting these investments. The company maintains that the investments exist through overseas structure and subsidiaries. This aspect remains under scrutiny and could become one of the most important components of the ongoing investigation. Now, apart from that, there is another 11 lakh crore trading question. Another allegation related to transactions worth over 11 lakh crores. SEBI reported questioned whether certain sales and purchase transactions had sufficient supporting evidences. The concern is not merely about accounting entries, the issue is whether underlying commercial activities genuinely existed and could be independently verified. If regulators cannot validate transactions through supporting records, banking trails, and counterparties, significant governance question will arise. This is one reason why the case has attracted so much attention. Now, these were the views from SEBI's point of view. Rajesh Exports' defense need to be also considered. It is important to remember that these are allegations. Rajesh Exports has strongly denied wrongdoings. The company maintains that its disclosures are accurate and the regulators may have misunderstood aspects of its reporting structure. Chairman Rajesh Mehta has indicated that the company intended to fully cooperate with authorities. As of now, investigations continue and no final conclusions have been reached. Well, why this matters beyond Rajesh Export? Many people assume this is simply another corporate governance story, but that's not true. This controversy now extends far beyond Rajesh Export. And why do I say this? Is because Rajesh Export is also one of the beneficiaries under India's strategic advanced chemistry cell battery and cell related performance linked incentive scheme, and that changes everything. India's 18,100 crore battery mission that we have initiated in India is having India's energy transition depends heavily on these battery and cell manufactured in India, because these batteries are powering the electric vehicles, grid scale energy storage, renewable energy integration, smart grids, and future energy security of the nation. Today, China dominates global battery manufacturing and cell manufacturing. India remains heavily dependent on these imports. To reduce this dependency, the government of India launched this Advanced Chemistry Cell Performance Linked Incentive Scheme with an outlay of 18,100 crores. The goal was to establish domestic battery manufacturing capacity and build a complete battery ecosystem in India. Selected companies would have received incentives linked to actual production. Well, in this scheme, Rajesh Export emerged as one of the winners. The company proposed a large-scale battery and cell manufacturing project and became a part of India's battery localization strategy. Now, why this SEBI case could affect battery PLI? The main reason is battery gigafactory requires enormous investments. Thousands of crores are needed for it. Manufacturing equipments, technology partnerships, raw materials, workforce deployment, plant construction. The government therefore evaluates applications on financial capability, execution capability, technical preparedness, and governance standards. If serious governance concerns emerge, investors begin asking difficult questions. Well, can financing be secured by these companies based on the filings which they have done? And later, the discrepancies have emerged. Will technology partners remain committed? Can projects timely be achieved its successful commissioning? Can public funds be protected? these questions are now being discussed across India's battery and cell manufacturing ecosystem. Now, out of all of this, can Rajesh Export lose its battery and cell PLI? This is the biggest question which we need to answer. Government tenders and PLI framework typically contains provisions related to misrepresentation and disclosure requirements. If material misrepresentation is eventually established, possible consequences could include cancellation of allocation, forfeiture of guarantees, debarment from future schemes, and reallocation of manufacturing capacity. However, there is a critical distinction. The allegations are still under investigation. Now, final adjudication has yet been reached. Any government decision will depend on legal and regulatory outcomes of this. Unless there is no final adjudication is reached, commenting on this will be a really difficult ask at this point in time. So there is a big policy dilemma in this context. The government faces a difficult balancing act. One is, the first scenario could be continuing supporting Rajesh Exports. The advantage of this scenario is the project continuity remains, no disruption in plant battery capacity, and faster localization. The risk is reputational concerns will be there. Governance is always questionable till the time these charges are being uplifted. And then reduced confidence in the PLI screening committee if some charges are proven correct. Second scenario is remove Rajesh Export from the scheme. Well, the biggest advantage of this is strong governance message, protection of public resources, enhancing policy credibility. And the risk on the flip side is delaying battery manufacturing targets, capacity gaps, and project reallocation challenges. There are no easy answers. This is precisely why the case has become one of the most important industrial policy tests in India. Well, every such case brings in a lot of learnings. The lessons for India's future PLI programs could be: this controversy offers lesson number 1, corporate governance matter as much as financial strength. Another important aspect is continuous monitoring should accompany all the incentive schemes. This has to be the new norm, that all the schemes which have been incentivized by government have to have an accompanying monitoring and auditing provisions attached to it. Lesson number 3, strategic sectors require stronger due diligence. This applies not to just the batteries and ACCPLI, advanced chemistry cell PLI. It also includes solar manufacturing, green hydrogen, semiconductors, critical minerals, and energy storage. As India deploys large industrial incentive governance standards, this will become increasingly important for us to have an audit and monitoring provisions attached to all these schemes. Well, to conclude this discussion, the Rajesh Export controversy is no longer just a corporate governance issue. It has become a test of India's industrial policy framework. On one side is India's urgent need to build domestic battery and cell manufacturing capacity. On the other side, the equally important is to have transparency, accountability, and investor confidence in place for all these advanced technologies which India is trying to foray into. The final outcome could influence India's battery and cell manufacturing roadmap, future PLI schemes, investor confidence, corporate governance standards, energy transition investments across the deep tech sector. And perhaps most importantly, it will determine how India balances rapid industrial growth with regulatory accountability. So, what do you think? Should companies facing serious regulatory investigation continue receiving strategic government incentives until proven guilty, or should strict action be taken to protect taxpayers funded schemes? Share your views in the comment below. If you enjoyed this deep dive analysis, like this video, share it with professionals in the EV, battery and energy sector. Subscribe to the Chetan Pathak vlogs. Press the bell icon for more content on energy policy, battery, green hydrogen, electric vehicle, climate finance and industrial strategy. Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode.